morning and welcome to Health Talk, sponsored by Mon General Hospital. This program is designed to provide education on vital health topics to help you take charge of your health. You'll also be introduced to Mon General's committed physicians, allied healthcare professionals, and quality programs and services. And now, here are your Health Talk hosts, Kay Murray and Jim Stallings.
Welcome to the program, brought to you by Mon General Hospital each Thursday morning at 8:35 on WAJR. It is called Health Talk. I'm Jim Stallings along with Kay Murray. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning, Jim.
Today, we're going to learn about healthy perks and Abby. Things we've never talked about before. Let's introduce our guest in the studio, the president of GetAbby, R.F. Culbertson. Good morning.
Morning, Jim.
Morning,
Kay.
So we're going to be learning today. Are we learning about healthy perks? Are we learning about GetAbby, or both? Are they associated with each other?
Yeah, they're one and the same. GetAbby was a product, and Healthy Perks is our partner in terms of introducing it to the Morgantown and Mon General community.
Okay, so tell me what Healthy Perks is.
Got it. Abby works on disease states. So what she is an avatar that understands and listens and comprehends. And the big differences are education, monitoring, reminding, and rewarding. Healthy Perks is the big part of the rewarding session. It takes you about 60 days to break a habit. So if you're used to eating chocolate cake for breakfast, it'll take you about 60 days to get out of that habit. And Healthy Perks will ease your way because it'll start giving you offers. It'll start giving you opportunities to do various things, whether they are sweepstakes or whatever, to try and get you there in a lot more comfortable fashion.
How is Abby communicating with me?
That's the key. Because the key to education is oftentimes, I know you hear this all the time, is communication, but the key is interaction and engagement. It's not a lecture. It's not a YouTube video. It's more a, Jim, how are we feeling today? And Jim would say, I feel lousy because I just got chocolate cake for breakfast. And you kind of go, well, let's talk about that and let's work through it because maybe we can exercise, maybe we can do various things. So Abby will communicate with you as an avatar on your smart device or on your computer. She'll also call you if you miss some of your tasks, like if you were supposed to take your Lipitor at 9 o'clock and you didn't tell her you did, or you haven't taken your weight in a couple days, or your glucose readings are off. Because literally then she'll start monitoring and looking at your rules and say, okay, looks like RF here has gained 3 pounds in 2 days. I better give him a call, see what's wrong. And Abby's an avatar. She's technology. She's not a human on the other end.
This is artificial intelligence, so to speak. But how does the program itself keep track, or is there human involvement in keeping track?
Actually, it's mostly the program itself. I can do a demo if you want. I can literally have her, so to speak, call me, although normally I would call her, or normally she would call me. I can kind of force the situation.
So it's a she. We got that right off the bat. So we know it's intelligence right there.
Oh, that's a good one, Kay. Hopefully you have a signal in here and able to make a call. You need a cell signal, I guess, right? Or if you have a certain device, you could probably do it over the Wi-Fi. But this is, again, called GetAbby. And
acronym. I want to know the acronym for this.
Awareness, Behavior, Balance, and Yield. It was actually formed like that because we said, gee, how can we do this? And then we said, gee, how can we make it come up first in somebody's dialing directory? So you kind of need AA or AB, and then it kind of went from there. And we kind of went, oh, Abby sounds interesting. And we had a much more complex name, but nobody could remember it. And so it kind of got down to Abby. Everybody seems to remember Abby fairly well.
It's a good name. But Jim talks about the human side of this. Who feeds in the information? Do we as individuals, or do we come to you and you feed it in for us? How does it all break down into information?
Yeah, most of the education is fed in before you, meaning it's there's education on diabetes, there's education on heart, there's education on a lot of the aspects of what's going on in terms of a disease state, and that's all pre-fed. The other side of it is your particular information, maybe the physician you have or the insurance you have or the pharmacy you use. You'll feed that in, or the hospital will do that, meaning as they get the information, they can also feed it in. So it becomes, we try and take the burden off the individual as much as possible because we understand that they have enough to do in their lives. And it's more a monitor and remind situation rather than burdening the individual with 9 hours of putting stuff in so you can get, 2 minutes of reward.
I think I would have called it Mom. Do not eat chocolate cake in the morning.
But how does Abby know that we've eaten chocolate cake or that we've gained 3 pounds?
what'll happen is, because you'll normally be due to your doctor, you'll actually keep the journal of what you've eaten. And you'll do this. And it was interesting because when we looked at it, we said, gee, how are people using this? So twice a day at least, people go in and keep a journal. This is unbeknownst to us. Abby doesn't call you and say, hey, get your journal entry in there. People want to do this because what will happen when they go to the doctor will say, okay, how do you feel today, Kay? And Kay will say, well, I feel fine because it'll be LIFO, last in, first out, and she feels great today. Mm-hmm. Meaning, well, the last 10 days have been miserable for Kay. So she'll forget that. This way she tells the doctor, look at my last 10 days or 30 days or whatever, and the doctor can scroll through the journal and say, wow, looks like we need to adjust your meds here. Looks like you're too high or too low, or cholesterol's up or down or whatever. So the journal offers it, and they can literally speak to Abby. They literally just speak into the phone. Abby will take everything else. You don't have to type. They don't have to have thumb issues or anything else. It literally is just, voice to text.
So if I take glucose readings every day, I could talk into my smartphone. I had a 107 blood glucose reading today. She'll keep track of that.
Correct. She'll keep track of it on a daily basis, or in your case, multiple times probably per day that you take your glucose readings. And then she'll look at that trend and say, okay, how is Jim doing? I mean, if it's weight, there's a normal trend there. If you gain a couple pounds in one day or something like that, it's going to fire off an alarm. And she's going to say, okay, I better call Jim to tell him he gained this weight.
A lot of calls made on Super Bowl day.
Yeah. The pizza.
Yes.
Pizza, beer, the regular diet on Super
I wonder
Bowl.
if she'll congratulate me when I say I'm one belt loop closer to my goal. That's very good, Jim. Love Abby.
Well, she motivates you. I mean, because, again, part of this is every morning she's going to give you a message, and it's going to be either motivational one way or the other. If she says, okay, congratulations, looks like we're going in the right direction, let's go for it. Or, Jim, we need to work on tightening that belt buckle a little bit more. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be there. Why? Because people oftentimes need that little nudge.
I hope she's not a nag.
Well,
that's why I called her mom, or wife would have been.
I'm sure she's very friendly.
No, I do want to talk about the relationship with Mon General Hospital, who sponsors this show for us.
Right.
And where we're talking about GetAbby, how do you relate to Mon General Hospital, and will Abby work with other hospitals as well?
Well, Mon General, and is actually a great. And I would say this off mic as well as on mic, Kay. I really enjoy Mon General. I mean, it'd be from Daryl to John to Linda to Steve. I mean, all the people, Greg that I just met. Very nice people. And so you end up kind of going, there has to be someone that says, gee, I want to deliver education and health care to a community without getting anything for it. You kind of go, okay, I mean, there's a lot of, what I call is WIFM, what's in it for me out there. But you kind of go, no, Mon General is like, how can I deliver this? Because we're going to be at the Morgantown Health Fair and all that stuff. And you kind of go, yeah, they were kind enough to say, let's get this in here because we think we can make a difference. And that's an interesting statement by a hospital because normally it's not that way, I'll be honest with you. We have a lot of other hospitals using it. It's kind of interesting to kind of dive into a market and to have someone be this outgoing and friendly. We
cannot do a demonstration, I guess, on the phone today, but perhaps at the health fair coming up in a couple weeks? Oh, well, yeah, we'll be there, and we'll be there for the entire time. And we'll be glad to do demos. We'll hand out various elements. We'll give it away for free. I mean, it's kind of fun to have people use it and watch it. And, because she is a talking head, if you will, on your phone or on your tablet or on your PC. I mean, she literally is video, and she talks to you. So when you say, hey, Abby, get lost, she's going to say things like, well, I'm an avatar, but avatars have feelings. And, she's going to talk to you, and you're going to kind of go, wow, I really trust this lady. The interesting part that happens, Kay, is that people begin telling Abby things they would never tell a human. They begin to really get in touch with her. And I'll tell you, the number one question that is asked of Abby on the heart side of things, and this is it's not weird. It's when can I have sex? But it has nothing to do with that, really. It's more like, when can I get on with my life? Sure.
Yeah. When can my heart handle it?
Right. When do I get my life back? And you kind of go, and doctors don't talk to you about that. They really don't. They talk to you about your cholesterol medication. They talk to you about your whatever, ... and adherence, but they don't say, well, after 3 to 4 weeks, you pretty much have your life back, Kay.
Interesting.
Go for it. And so, yeah, she becomes a trust factor because of the video, because she's literally talking to you. It's not just a voice. It can be a voice over the phone like mom nagging you, but it's more the video that people buy into.
R.F. Culbertson is the president of GetAbby. So you were a leader in getting this developed. Did you have a development team? How did this idea come about?
Yeah, it was spun out of Carnegie Mellon a little bit. The idea came from Carnegie Mellon, which was let's have a video person talk to you. That's where you will be engaged. And then, yes, we have a team. We're located in Pittsburgh, and it's kind of fun. It actually came about personally because I literally had a heart attack very young in life and could not find the information and could not find anybody to answer the question, gee, when can I get my life back, or when can I have chocolate cake for breakfast or whatever? And you kind of go, gee, let's make – and that's normally true of an entrepreneur. They'll either have it directly impacting them, gee, I'm doing this for my father or something like that, or I find a fine niche that nobody's serving and I'll go in that. So this, in the case with me, was, gee, here's something that I could have used, because that 7 minutes with the doctor oftentimes didn't cut it.
Sure.
I'd have a whole bunch of questions and not enough time to get them, and I'd walk out with more questions than I had walking in, and so it was frustrating.
We need to take a break. We're going to be back in just a moment. We do have a phone call who wants to talk about GetAbby. The caller does, and so we'll get to that phone call in just a moment. You're welcome to call as well, 304-296-0041. You're listening to Health Talk on WAJR.
The doctors, the latest news and procedures. Your local health connection is Mon General's Health Talk. If you'd like to be on the show, call 304-296-0041.
You're listening to Health Talk on WAJR. We welcome your phone calls for R.F. Culbertson. He's the president of GetAbby. It's a technology firm based out of Pittsburgh, and they have a partnership with Mon General Hospital. And we have a phone call from Jim. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, I've actually been one of those people who've been working with this program since last summer, and honestly, I think it's fantastic.
Well, tell us how it's helping you.
Sure, absolutely. I see myself as I'm kind of a list guy, but that never really translated into my health before. I was, kind of lax in when I'd take my glucose or things like that, or my medications, and I think one of the biggest benefits is that I can take this program with me anywhere, and I can access it on my phone, my cell phone, my smartphone, or even on my laptop at home. So I can always check that list and get back to what medications I need to take, or really what I need to do when. Some of the other, I could go on for probably hours. But I think one of the biggest pieces that's helped me is being able to kind of record my diet and exercise on a daily basis, and sometimes more than a daily basis. Being able to keep track of my weight and glucose, it kind of keeps me honest with myself in terms of how I'm really doing. Some days I'm in the application, 6, 7, 8 times a day.
And it sounds like you only get out of it what you put into it. I mean, that may simplify things, but RF, is that a good term? I mean, he's every day putting his weight in there, putting his glucose readings in there, and then does he take that to the doctor then? Does he take his phone with Abby on it to the doctor?
Yeah, I mean, what Jim will do is take his phone to the doctor, show the journal, show the task that he's done. The doctor will review it. Abby does, she will, as you kind of called her mom, I mean, she will nag you. I mean, if in fact she doesn't have glucose readings for a couple days, she's going to give you a call and say, okay, Kay, where are those glucose readings, or did you take them, and what are they, and all that stuff. So there will be a little bit of a nag factor, and people seem to, I don't know. Jim, does she call you?
Some days she'll call me when I don't do what I should, I guess.
Okay.
Jim, in setting this up, explain that to us, the time element and getting all set up and ready to go with Abby.
For me, it was pretty simple. My local pharmacist brought me into the program and introduced me to it, and honestly, it was it already had all my meds in it, and my doctors and my pharmacies, so that I could easily set up the appointments right there, and the meds were in there already. I think I had to tweak it a little bit. I spent about a half an hour with the pharmacist at first to understand and kind of learn the program.
Well, we appreciate you calling in this morning and testifying for us on the Healthy Perks program. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thanks, folks.
We appreciate it. And again, the program is called Healthy Perks. Abby is the avatar, and it was developed in conjunction with Carnegie Mellon University about 10 or so years ago. But Abby is an avatar that uses artificial intelligence, natural language, and speech recognition to engage customers. That would be you or patients. 304-296-0041 is our number if you would like to be on Health Talk, brought to you by Mon General Hospital on WAJR.
This is Mon General's Health Talk, providing the information you need to take charge of your health. Call us now with your health-related questions at 304-296-0041.
Healthy Perks is a program at Mon General Hospital in association with GetAbby, and the president of GetAbby is R.F. Culbertson in our studio this morning on WAJR.
Yeah, we're learning why Abby is so special, but I want you to tell us a little bit more why, because there are apps out there for diabetes, diet, wellness. What makes Abby stand out to be special?
Yeah, absolutely, Kay. There are other stuff out there. The interesting part to us is there are 4 components of success in healthcare. The big one is making sure you stick with your medications. That's the big reason people get sick again. They come back in with readmissions. And there are 4 reasons why you're going to stick with your meds. One is I'm going to educate you. 2, I'm going to monitor you. 3, I'm going to remind you, nag you like mom. And 4th, I'm going to reward you. There's not a other program out there that has all 4. Dropping one is just like, learning how to ride a bike. You take one wheel off the bike, you're not going to be able to ride a bike. So it's very easy. And
something you just said just popped into my mind, and it was about taking your meds and making sure you take them at the same time of the day and those reminders. And we've been talking a lot about the mental health and people not taking their meds on time. And that's why I ask you, how broad is Abby that would help those people as well?
Yeah, Abby has a basic set of education in it, and then we enhance it for particular disease states like diabetes, like heart, like a lot of other things like pneumonia, like COPD. And so literally you can use her as a dietitian with a lot of the same functionality, just in a grocery store, and then she can go out to, okay, let me include the diabetes or prediabetes, let me include the heart side, let me include the COPD or pneumonia side as well.
She's pretty smart. Pretty smart, Abby.
She's much smarter than I am, that's for sure, yeah.
Is she an app we download to our phone?
She's either an app or she can be actuated by a QR code or some other website type of environment. So it's kind of yes and yes and yes and yes.
So if we go to the health fair on the 22nd and 23rd at Morgantown Mall, we could get started there, or I guess we could call Mon General Hospital and ask more about Healthy Perks.
Yeah, we'll be glad to. We're going to be there at the Mon General Mall. And we'll literally be handing it out. I think there's scheduled to be like 20,000 people come through there, which is really great.
It's always
I'm looking
crowded.
forward to it.
Yeah, so that's a Saturday and Sunday, February 22nd and 23rd of this month at Morgantown Mall, the annual Mon General Health Fair. And you're right, it is very popular. And how do you go about demonstrating this to people who are walking by and looking around?
Yeah, what we're going to do is have an exhibit there so that people can not only watch the monitor, but also I think there'll be a half dozen or a dozen people there that can literally help people walk them through it and show them where to do various things. It's an app, so or it's a pseudo app, so you kind of go, it's pretty self-explanatory, and she's certainly there to talk you through it as well. Meaning the avatar, Abby. So if you kind of make a mistake, she'll let you know. But it's we want more people to be on it than less. That's the whole gig.
So ask your doctor about Healthy Perks with Mon General Hospital, and then get Abby with Healthy Perks. Thank you so much, Mr. Culbertson. Good hearing from you.
We'll see you there. We will see you there.
I will see you
Morgantown AM is going to be live.
Stay tuned for Morgantown AM coming up after the news on WAJR.